Alright, let's take a look at the Tetris theme. This is from one that I found on the internet. It was arranged by Jonas Lefvert. I don't have the last name. It was cut off, but I'll give the credit in the YouTube link. So I just like to thank him for arranging that, because that's the one I'm using. And you could find it on Google. Just Google it and Tetris A theme, and it'll come up. So you're using an E chord, so it's important to know where your E chord is, right? Because you'll use that in the next, on the second half where it goes, right? So you can use an E chord, you can use an A minor chord, and then a D minor chord. Those are your main chords. Towards the end, you'll use an A minor where you reach out to the 5th fret and you're going to play the first 2 strings. Okay. And on the E, you'll do an E chord. Let's see here. And then you'll do an E, another version of the E. E7, okay, which will be up here. All it is a 3rd string, 4th fret, 2nd string, 3rd fret, right? If you look at measure 10, that's where it starts off right there. Then it goes to your E. Okay, we'll get into that part later. Let's take a look at the very beginning. Your thumb is going to be playing the bass notes. You're either going to be playing a low E, an A, or a D. Okay, this is a nice fun piece if you're already learning when you're playing the bass notes, because you don't have to really worry about holding down anything, any frets. You know, you can just hit the open strings. So you got E, 6th string open, A, 5th string open, and then you have a D later, which is the 4th string open. Okay. So let's take a look at the first 4 measures. You're going to be playing a low E for the first measure, and then you're going to go to the A on the 2nd measure, and then your thumb goes back to the low E on the 3rd measure, and then on 4th measure back to A. Okay, so here's what you have. You're just going from 6th string, 5th string, back to 6th string, and then 5th string. Okay, and your thumb is just playing those notes. So you're going to let that note sustain while you play the top melody, right? So let's take a look at the first first measure you have. Okay, so that's measure 1. And take a look at measure 2. Measure 3, you go back to the 6th string. Okay. Go into measure 4, back to the 5th string. Okay, so you might probably want to, I would learn the bass note first. And then once you can get that, try to do the melody. And then once you get that, then try to combine those together. Okay, let's take a look at the next section. Measure 5, you're going to go to D minor shape. You're going to hit the 4th string open, then go into measure 6, you're going to go to the A string, 5th string open, and then measure 7, you're going to the low E, and then measure 8, back to the A string. string. Okay. So there is a far reach for that on measure 5. You do on looking at the melody. You're gonna have to. Right. You could also do it here. Let's keep it here. Okay. Measure 5. So you're going from D on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, to F, 1st string, 1st fret, and then you have to reach pretty far to that A on the 5th fret of the 1st string. Then you're going to go back to G, 1st string, 3rd fret, and then F, 1st string, 1st fret. So measure 5. Okay, that's probably the hardest thing to play right there, because the stretch and then it moves so quick there. Okay, if you want to play something a little easier, you could do the 4th string open, and then you're going to play the 3rd string, 2nd string, and 1st string. It'll be 7th fret, 6th fret, and then 5th fret. Okay. And then when you play the G, play it on the 2nd string, 8th fret, and then you're going to play 2nd string, 6th fret. Okay. The only thing with that, when you hit the next measure, measure 6, you hit those 2 open strings, you would quickly shift back to root position. Okay. The only thing with that is it is a little tricky when you're having to shift up just to get here. Okay. Okay, especially if you're just learning, and then if your guitar's not tuned, it's really gonna stick out that little. Okay. Okay, so I'll let you decide what you want to do there. Okay, let's go on. Measure 6. Alright, so you're going back to the 5th string open. Measure 7, low E, and open B. And then measure 8 back to your 5th string open. Okay, so measure 5. Going on to measure 9. Here's where we're going to play A minor, E, A minor, E. Okay. And you have some, let's see, measure 9, you're going to play the A minor chord. Okay. You're playing the first 2 strings, and then you're going to play the 2nd and 3rd string. Okay. That's your top voice. Right, and then in between those, you have a thing going on with the bass there. Okay. And each time you hit the bass note, you're gonna play that 3 times. Okay. Going on to measure 10, you're gonna play an E7 chord. From the previous measure, you just hold your A minor chord, and these fingers that you're using, you can keep them there and just slide them up to the 3rd string, 4th fret, and the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And you're just going to play this. Your thumb is going to switch to the 6th string, and you're going to play the bass note. Okay? And then you're going to go on the same strings, on the top voices. You're just going to bring it back to your home position, your E chord there. You're going to play a G sharp and a B. Okay, you're playing this, it's the same strings, you're just going from your 3rd fret, 2nd string, and your 4th fret, 3rd string. You're just bringing those 2 back. Okay, so that you're going to play a G sharp, 3rd string, 1st fret, and 2nd string open. Okay. So it's going to sound like this. measure 11, you go back to your A minor chord. Now you're just playing the second and third string, and then this third string and fourth string. Okay. Okay. Let's measure 11. Then your thumb's going to play the fifth string, so it's going to sound like this. Going on to measure 12, you're just going to do an E chord, and you're going to play the fourth string and third string together, and then the third string and second string together. Okay. Your thumb will play the low E. So measure 12 is going to sound like this. Okay. Going on to measure 13, you're going to do the same thing you did on measure 9. Okay. Going on to 14, you're going to do the same thing you did on measure 10. Okay, measure 15 is the tricky part. You're going to do an A minor chord in root position right here. You're going to hit the A on the fifth string, and then you're going to go to the first and second string. So on measure 15, you're playing the second and third string together. Then you're going to hit the bass note. Then you're going to go to the first string and second string. Then you're going to hit the bass note again. And you're going to quickly shift to the 5th fret and play your first and second string, and then back to your bass note. Okay, so it's going to sound like this. Okay, going on to the next measure, 16, you're going to play E, which is your low E on the 6th string, and then you're going to play an E on the 2nd string, 5th fret, and then a G sharp on the 1st string, 4th fret. Okay, and instead of playing the 3 bass notes, you're going to play it 4 times. Right? And then it takes you back to the beginning. Right? And then you play that again to measure 8. Okay? So 13's